Well, welcome back, everybody. It is episode 8 of the Stream PC. Today, we're going over some really cool subjects of using Discord to grow your stream or grow community. We're going to be talking about how to understand the difference between a friend that is there for you to support you. Are they a secret hater? Are they looking to stab you in the back? Is it okay to prioritize your content over your chat? Let's get into it. So we were asked this time on one of our socials, which is super exciting. Is Discord really a viable tool to grow a stream? Was the question? But I would like to add, or community. So is Discord a viable tool to grow your stream and or community? I think the three of us will have different opinions on this, but I feel like kind of similar opinions on this. I'll go ahead and let you boys start today.
Um, Me personally, I feel like having a Discord is an important part at some point.
Important part, but like, do you have to? Like, what if you don't want it as a streamer? Do you have to?
I mean, if you're wanting to grow a community, I feel like you would need to have some way for everybody to communicate,
Okay.
you know? And Discord is the perfect thing for that. But I think is whenever you're first starting out and you don't really have that much of a following, I don't think having a Discord right off the start is a first thing that you should do.
So when you say having a Discord, do you mean like a server or a profile?
You can have a profile. I would recommend being like part of networking is also joining other communities, and a lot of times that's being in other Discords.
Okay.
So having a profile and being somewhat familiar with Discord will be important for whenever you go to make your own server, in my opinion.
Okay.
But like if you've only got like you're just starting out and you got like 30 followers, you know, you say you make a Discord server,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you might only have like 5 people in there. I mean, in my opinion, it's better to wait till you have probably like maybe 100 followers and a concurrent viewership of maybe like 5 or so, and then you know it'll it'll grow a little bit faster, because your name's out there and you're being viewed a little bit more. But just starting out, whenever you only got like 20 followers, you might average like 1 or 2.
Okay.
I don't know if starting a Discord server right then would be an important part, but definitely put yourself in other communities and network, make friends, and then eventually people will start trying to come into your Discord.
Okay.
I would agree that networking and going into other discords is a very important place to start. But I was always in the mind of thinking that you dress for the part you want. So if I want to have a community, I want to be a streamer, I want to make content, why wouldn't I already have things in place and ready for when that starts to happen? A place where people can go and start. Even if it's like 1 or 2 people in there other than me, at least there's something happening. You have a place where you can be like, hey guys, this is what's going on. I'm running like 10 minutes late to stream or yada yada, just something you can relay quick information. Now, the question was, do I think that it's necessary for growing your community or growing your stream? No, I don't think that's what it's for. It's for strengthening your community, which is a big difference between growing, because it's not really a tool that you use for growing. You can use it for networking purposes, which is for growing, yes. But your actual server is more about you and your community. So, can other people in your community invite other people? Of course they can, if you have it set up that way. But the odds of you growing exponentially just because you have a Discord server is very minute. So I would say that if you're going to be using Discord for growth purposes, definitely the networking aspect of it is what you'd want to look at. but having everything in place whenever you just begin, that's completely fine. You don't have to wait to some arbitrary number that's just up in the air, because odds are if you have 100 followers, you probably don't have 5 concurrent viewers. If you're listening to this podcast at the beginning, like you're new, people will follow you as soon as you get a raid half the time, and they're just ghost follows.
Never seen again.
About that.
Never seen again.
And we talked about a few episodes ago, Aztec, and it was like, what? How long was it that you were streaming before you actually started getting concurrent viewers?
Like concurrent viewers, like 9 to 10 months. Yeah.
Right. And that's a long time. But if that's already in place, you already have a couple people in there, you can start talking to them. They're getting those go live notifications whenever they jump into the server. Those are things that can kind of help every once in a while. So as far as the question goes, I really don't think it's necessary to grow your stream or grow your community. And if you're just thinking about growing your stream and that's the only thing that you're asking, you already have the wrong mindset. This isn't about growing your stream. It's about growing your community and getting better at what you're doing.
Yeah.
Everything else is just a byproduct. Just getting better at what you're doing already, having things in place, that's going to take you to where you want to be regardless. It's all just a matter of time.
100%. Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to leech off the both of you. I mean, both of you guys pretty much did great on that. Taking what both of you said, I think absolutely it's a great tool when you're ready to build a community. And 100% with Sauce is like, it's not, if you're looking at it to grow your stream, 100% what Sauce said, you have the wrong mindset, because that's not growing your stream. You can grow a community that, I mean, I have community members in mind that don't ever hardly come by a stream. If they do, it's just like, whoa, look who's here. You know, definitely have several members like that. They're active in there, but then they never come by the stream, whether it's a life issue or they just don't enjoy the stream for whatever reason. You know, but they love the community sense of it. So the mindset of, should I get a Discord to grow my stream? I feel like we need to kind of pause and take a step back and look at, you know, what other things could you do to grow your stream? Because definitely, you know, we've talked about in the past, and I'm sure we'll continue to talk about and bring up is, you know, you have very, very few seconds when somebody comes in. Like Sauce's example, raid. People come in for a raid, they drop a follow because they want to make the raider feel good. We've covered that already. You know, if you're just kind of stale, or you're just stuck playing, you know, whatever game you're playing, and you're just stuck doing that, or you're in a match, or, you know, you're building something, whatever you're doing in game, and you're not really like receptive to the raid or to the people coming in, or, you know, chatting, I mean, they're going to leave. You didn't catch their attention, you know, unless you're doing something bonkers in game and they're aware of that game.
Right.
Most raiders, or streamers, I should say, we tend to look at people playing the genre that we're in at that moment, and to raid out to. So hopefully they are interested in what you're doing, but sometimes also there's what is that thing called, y'all, on Twitch? It's the recommended page, which sometimes ain't what you're playing. It's just streamers with similar size, or with viewers that like the similar things that your viewers like. So 100%, I think you just got to look back at, that's the wrong time to be like, do I want a Discord? Because it's definitely community based. So,
but you can also use, you know, other socials as well at the start, you know, like X, or AKA Twitter, or I think I said that backwards. Twitter, AKA X.
No, you said it right the first time. You said it right the first time.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I hardly use it. Recently learned how to tweet. Old.
He's a young tweeter.
Yeah, you can also use like Insta, like Saw said earlier, like using Discord to let people know that you're gonna be 10 minutes late or something like that, or you got something going on. You know, you can do the same thing on X. You know, if your followership is there, like if you're sharing that link instead of having the Discord link and stuff, you know, to grow that on that platform as well. Yeah, but
yeah, I mean, having it is important. You should definitely make a profile, and you should definitely find streamers that you're either friends with already, or streamers that you like, and join their communities. Okay, but you not to be sharky to go in there and steal people. It's to go in there and maybe just learn how a Discord is ran. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, when I joined Lucky and I joined Sauce, I let them know, hey, you know, my intention is to be here to learn, you know, and they were both like, hell yeah, dude, come in and see how we do it, you know, and
We got
the most flattering thing is like Sauce. I'm a prepper, and I mean that in a way of content, not in a natural disaster or the end of the world type thing. I'm not that old yet. I definitely look at future. So I definitely had my Discord made before I ever told anybody about it. I think the only person I told was YouTube, and because I was asking questions like, "Hey, where's this bot? How do you do?" Typical new Discord owner stuff. What was most flattering to me is when people started coming into the stream and started to be like, "Do you have a Discord? We'd love to join." I'm like, "Really? Why?" I had no idea why they wanted to join my Discord. So that's flattering, and kind of to me that would be your signal of like, "Hey, I need it." But I also would hate to be asked and not have it, and then that person's gone forever. That's the fear of being prepared for. So
that's exactly
definitely
what I was thinking.
Yeah,
is you want to have it in place for whenever they're asking for it.
And I would just be open beforehand. Yeah, I just be open and honest. Like, hey, it's a work in progress. I have one, but I don't really know what I'm doing, and maybe you guys be my first guys in there, and we can figure out how to do this. Like, let's do this together. I think that's super cool. And also, like, those first couple people to join who asked you about it and you were open with, like, I don't know what I'm doing, they might feel more of like a loyalty to you, is like, oh, we're the first, like, oh, and then that's at the end of the day, it's like some of your loyal, first. That's the whole point of having like the first founders badge or whatever on Twitch, to help those people feel more entitled to be with you for longer.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, like, I didn't really learn how to Discord till recently. That's why I made a whole new one, because it was just easier to start from scratch.
Yeah. I mean, I can talk about Discord all day. I love Discord, especially with a little self promo here with the way mine's grown and the way that we've been operating in it, and the things that we are doing in it. Super exciting, fun things happening there. But as a new streamer, I think it's definitely important to network. And Sauce has already blessed us with the recipe of how and what networking is. But just kind of covered again for those of you that maybe haven't caught up with us, or maybe you're new here to the Stream PC. Welcome in. Networking is so important, especially when you're trying to grow and be new. I mean, Twitch itself put out not too long ago a streamers grow by networking with other streamers. Okay. I personally feel some of the worst people to have as fans or be dependent on as viewers are other streamers, just because they're A, your competition, but B, like, they're busy. They're, if they're like us, they're in the background making YouTube videos, making content. They're busy people. They're building their community as well. So that's why I try to say, just focus on you and what you can do on stream to get viewers, because having other streamer friends is great. I mean, I got these two, obviously. It's great for like my mental health issues. It's great for like my confidence issues. It's great for when I'm out of ideas. I don't know how many times I've bounced an idea off of Sauce, and he'll take my idea, crumble it up, throw it away, and give me a better idea. Then I get a whole different vision out of what he said. And at the end, it's nothing that either of us talked about. It's something completely different. And that's just the streamer / content creator in him, or Lucky, when I'll be like, hey, what is this? And he'll be like, which is something we've gone over before as well. So definitely look at it growing yourself. But I think Discord is a great tool to network if you have the right intentions. At the end of the day, I think we all have the same intentions, to grow ourselves, right? As a streamer, number one is I want to grow, I want to be big. So you definitely, I think all of us know that when we see a new streamer join the Discord, we're like, okay, here's a new competitor. They come in and they're super active. I think one of the funniest things that I see, even still today, is when those people come hang out with you in your stream, and then there's somebody that's throwing like subs or actual donations or just hella bits or something. They see money in that person, and all of a sudden that new streamer in your Discord starts adding that person, like, hey, how are you? I think that's so funny. And like, come on, dude, everybody sees what you're doing. Like, we see that you're targeting that person because you want what they just did for me or whoever. I think that's low. I think that's funny though. I definitely see that.
I think every tool has its specific use in your tool belt as a streamer or a content creator. Just like every paintbrush has a different purpose for whenever you're painting a painting, right? Like, you're going to use a different paintbrush to paint a mountain scene than you will to do the fine details in someone's face.
Okay, Sauce Ross. Okay, Sauce Ross. Jesus. The lesson out of nowhere.
So everything has a specific reason. Like, if Lucky's working on an electrical thing, he's not going to take a ball peen hammer to go check and see if the line's hot, right? That's not what he does.
Depends on his attitude that day, I guess.
I'm sure you could get the result and find out real fast, but that's not the way you want to find out. So
yeah,
Not really.
there's a
not
time and a place.
necessarily.
yeah,
There's a time and a place for all of it. So yes, Discord's an important thing. Is it the end all be all? No. And when we're talking about growing your stream, I think in general, where everyone desires growth, everyone wants to be better, everyone wants that, right? But again, I always go back to controllables and uncontrollables. I can't control how many people are going to be in my stream or how many people are going to see my stream. What I can control is the effort that I'm putting in at the end of the day and the skill that I have whenever I'm doing something. So I think if you make those little adjustments to your mindset, it'll help you, and it'll be a byproduct that you're just going to grow anyway.
yeah. And like you said, I mean, every tool, you know, is just a stepping stone inside your own temple that you're building. Right? You see what I did there? You use, I mean, you know, not one single tool builds a whole house. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying for sure.
Mhm.
You know, so it does take multi things. You know, but one of the biggest things, like if you're like a Fortnite player or a Minecraft player or whatever you are, you know, the first set of people you should look at, like we've mentioned in the past, are the same game players. You know, because then you can either learn, like I've mentioned, from a bigger, you know, whatever game you're into streamer and see kind of what they do to do the interesting thing. I think one of the biggest things is a lot of these streamers that, you know, like play these type of games is they get so invested in the game, and like we've mentioned before, we think we have to be so good at that game or that thing that we're doing, and we think that that's what people are there for. People are there for what your personality inside that game is. Like, yes, I'm interested in watching NASCAR, you know, but why do I have a favorite driver? Is it because he wins a lot? Is it because of his interviews outside? Is it because of what he stands for? Is it because of what charity he supports? What is it about that person that I like? Because not everybody's going to win all the time, right? There are some crazy gamers out there that win often, you know, but you're not always going to win. You don't win every, you know, gunfight or build fight or whatever you're in. You know, you don't win every single one, you know, but now there is a platform for those people. There's a platform for people that want to go find just the best person at that said game and they want to watch. Well, that's cool. That person has that title. If that's what you want to be, then yeah, you'll have to grind that. But as a streamer trying to grow, I don't think if you're not there yet, then that's not how you're going to grow as a streamer in that moment. So I think chat's going to be your biggest asset, which I believe brings us into, I think, Sauce's question, right? Is there ever a time that it's okay to ignore chat and focus on said content? So if you're in the middle of streaming and you're doing something intentionally on stream for content, is it okay to ignore chat? I think no, but I'll let you guys explain.
Well, right now for me personally, always. I've always kind of prioritized chat over whatever game that I'm playing. Like I would say probably the only time that I'm probably more focused on the game is if it's like because I play a lot of Call of Duty, you know, and there are times where you're in like a really intense moment. You might walk into a room and you got like 4 head of people already looking at you, you know, and you're like, oh buddy, I gotta clutch this real quick, you know, and like you all your focus goes into that, and you might have people trying to talk to you, you know. And normally whenever that moments like that come up, I'll apologize. You know, I'll be like, hey, sorry, I'm in the middle of this real quick. I'll get right to you. I apologize. I'm sorry. You know, but yeah, other times I don't care what's going on in the game. And Aztec has seen it a bunch. I'll have people shooting at me. Will be people, snipers sniping at us, and he'll just be like, Lucky's over here literally just talking the chat, and we're getting pushed right now, you know.
To be fair, I only call you out when we're in a ranked type game where, you know, it matters. I'm like, we're playing ranked and he's too busy doing whatever he's doing on chat. And then he comes back because I was muted. He'll be like, My bad.
My
Yeah.
bad.
But as a fellow streamer, I respect it.
I would say that you apologizing, that, I mean, that's obviously
Unnecessary.
on brand for you, but it's definitely unnecessary. There's a relationship that you have with your community, right? So whenever you're invested in something at that particular moment, and people can read the room and see what's going on, even if it's a brand new chatter, they should still be able to read what's going on stream at that particular moment and be like, okay, well, he's locked in right now. He's got 4 guys on him and he's trying not to die.
Can they read?
If they can't, they're probably not meant for your community anyway. Well, maybe yours, because you can't read either. But
we're the same.
But they should be able to understand what's going on. So I'm going to say it's situational.
Right.
If you should prioritize your game or prioritize chat. Sometimes there's chats that are worth investing more time into and kind of diving into and kind of putting what you're doing on the back burner in game. And other times it's just like super quick answers and you're focusing on what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's other times that you're really invested in your game where, like, maybe I'm in the middle of, let's say that I was playing Elder Scrolls or playing Elden Ring, which I don't think I've ever played, but let's say I was playing that, doing a big boss battle. You have to focus on those boss battles or else you will die. They are all timing based. It is dodging. It is attacking at the right moments. So, in that particular moment, I probably don't want to take a 10-second look at my chat to read a paragraph.
Yeah.
Or 30 seconds, depending on who's reading it, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of what I meant by this question. So, do I think that you should always prioritize your game over top? Absolutely not. Because obviously your chat's there for a reason.
So you're asking about moments.
Yeah, momentarily I think it's okay.
Okay.
But in general, your chat is there because of the interaction with you. Because if they wanted to just watch a video game, they could just go to YouTube, which I do YouTube, I do Twitch. So whenever I'm wanting to invest in a game and not pay attention to chat, that's when I make YouTube videos. But it's one of those things.
Yeah, so I mean, let's further explain that for like the battle royale nerds or the multiplayer nerds, for FPS nerds or whatever, you know. Saying, okay, match is starting, I'm locking in and focusing your game for the whole match, in my opinion, is wrong. What we're talking about is when you're walking into a fight, you know, maybe you were just chatting, you turn around, there's, you know, 2, you know, enemy players running at you, you know, whatever the situation that you just walked into is. If you lock in for that, you know, that fight and something's happening, sure. That, you know, focus on that for a second, because your fans, you know, some of them are there for you, some of them are there for the game, some of them are for both. You never know who's there at the time, but you definitely take the time to finish that gunfight or firefight or whatever the hell you're playing, because they're also there for that interaction, right? So they're also there to see, you know, you do good or see you totally get destroyed, so they can make fun of you because they love to do that, you know. But if I'm in same exact situation I just explained and I get a raid, fuck that fight. I'm, you know, oh my goodness, who's here? Hello, welcome in. You know, so I think, yes, absolutely. There are definitely times where you need to lock in and do it. But when we say that, we don't mean matches. We don't mean 10, 15, 20-minute segments, because that's, you know, unless you have like a great, you know, voice and whippy comebacks and or just gameplay in general, you're going to lose their attention. They're going to leave. You know, and like Sauce said, if they're first time chatters or whatever, and they're on you right now, most likely it's because whatever you're playing or doing is something that they're interested in. So they should be able to read the situation and understand, oh, he's in a gunfight, he's not going to be looking at his chat. You know, again, call back to an old episode is, hey, moderators could be like, hey, sorry, he's locked in right now, but welcome in. Hi. You know, moderators are great at doing that. I think Kool-Aid Vision, shout out to you, buddy. He has a timed bot command.
Chat.
Yeah. It'll
Mhm.
pop up. Sorry, he's locked in right now. It's just, I think it's funny when he's talking to me, like when he's streaming and I'm sitting there chatting with him, and he'll be like, he's focused on me, and that timer pops up. I think that's hilarious. No, No, he's not. He's talking to me.
Talking to me right now.
Yeah. So just explain it further for some of you guys that, you know, are more focused on your game than your chat.
I did want to bring up something as well. One of the things I was thinking about was investing in specific conversations or chat versus others, and having like an open-ended dialogue.
Okay.
And knowing what to invest in whenever you're streaming. So we're going to get different types of questions whenever we're streaming. Some people are going to be like, hey, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite game? If you just say red or blue and you don't follow it up with anything, you're not really creating that open dialogue that's going to foster communication in chat. It's not going to build that relationship or that rapport.
Yeah.
So I think that's a super important thing that people really need to think about. And as far as investing one conversation over another, I know that might seem weird to say, but I could probably get farther in a conversation about my favorite game than I could about what my favorite color is.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm going to invest more time. I might say my favorite color is purple. And I'm going to tell you, well, one of my favorite games is Elder Scrolls. And my favorite race is this. What's yours?
Yeah, absolutely.
And it'll start that conversation about a certain thing. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, yeah, I can definitely see what you're talking about. You know, different questions can make for longer conversations or shorter conversations. Like if somebody asked me what my favorite color was, it would be a very limited conversation. Like if they said mine would be blue. I had to think of what my favorite color was for a second.
Bebop and blue is what I heard.
My favorite color is blue. And probably give a little backstory on why blue is my favorite color. You know,
the pen is blue.
The pen is royal blue. You know, and that was probably one of the things because that shit was funny.
Yeah,
but great movie.
Yeah, I mean, you know, so I agree completely. But I think there's levels. There's levels to it. When you're teaching somebody how to chat, right? A new streamer. You're teaching a new streamer how to chat. You know, if their chat's not moving like y'all's are, or is, I'm sorry. Let's be proper here. If the chat's not moving quite like your guys' is, you know, I can understand why Sauce would say, I want to pick something out. You know, if you know, chatter 1 says, what's your favorite color? And then immediately chatter 2 is like, what's your favorite game? As a person trying to entertain and not be boring to a, you know, stream full of people, I understand him picking the game thing because A, he's more confident in his knowledge in that game. B, like he said, he can continue that conversation. There's levels to it, you know. But for like a brand new streamer with nobody in his chat, you couldn't have that one chat and look at it and be like, I'm not answering that, you know, and then just move on because you know, goodbye person, right? And there
don't not answer.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a lot of weirdos out there that come in, you know, with a question, first time ever into your chat, and they just ask this off the wall, out of subject question just to gauge your vibe. You know, like somebody comes in and they're like, do you like Taco Bell? You're like, what the fuck? What? We're playing COD. Why are we talking about Taco Bell right now?
I do have this one thing.
Shout out to you, Colony. Much love, brother.
So whenever I pick somebody that I'm going to raid, I ask them what their opinion on Hot Cheetos and Code Red are. Like every single time. And I just gauge what their reaction is to it. And
like I said, weirdos.
They have a good vibe. We'll send it. but
Sauce would never raid me then.
Like for
no, it's all vibe. It doesn't have to do with the answer.
Okay.
Like for us, who are, you know, still low tier, mid tier streamers, would be like, what I would suggest to somebody within our level is to see both questions. You know, say chatter 1, thank you, blue, and then move on, right? Immediately, which you wouldn't teach a new chat person learning to chat. We'd be like, you know, say, blue, what is yours? Chat, everybody in chat, type in what your favorite color is, even if you don't know damn well there's nobody else there. You know, just do it for habit, to grow habit, you know, build on, no matter how shitty a question is, build a conversation out of it, force yourself to learn how to do those things so you're ready for later in your career, like we're explaining, where you can just be like, hey, chatter 1, I like blue. Chatter 2, listen here, I love X game, and like Sauce went on about this race or whatever, and then build a conversation out of it. So what chatter 1 feels a part of the community, they feel answered, they feel heard and seen. but they're like, maybe I should ask better questions. Hopefully is what they get out of it. Hopefully they don't think you're just being rude and just putting them to the side, but definitely in where we're at in our careers, I think exactly what Sot said, figure out where you want to invest. As streamers, you're going to have community members that are very close with you. You're going to have random people come in and maybe they bring up something, weird, bad, sad, vibe killing, you never know. And you also have to be prepared for that. You also have to have that in your bag because you don't want to discredit anybody's feelings ever. My biggest fear is that somebody is not doing well mentally or, in their feelings, and they come in and they're just like, hey, so-and-so just died in my family, having a real bad time. But I'm here to hang out with you. They're obviously, and I hate to say it this way, but at the end of the day, they're just looking for attention. They're just looking for somebody to talk to, so I wouldn't dismiss them at all. I'm so sorry to hear that. And something that I always say is, feel free to DM me. And if you want, I'll talk to you about this, later or whatever, just to kind of let them know I see you. I'm sorry for you, but I'm also kind of directly telling you that we're not going to have this conversation in the chat, because you definitely don't want the whole vibe of your stream to be killed because, one person, because there's, however many number you have, 19, 22 other people in your stream that you have to look out for who might be in a good mood, or maybe they have the same issue going on, but they've put it behind them and they're trying to be in a good mood. And now they're bringing it back up.
Yeah, I'd say that's situational as well, because I'm confident in my ability to put the vibe back on track if I need to, if something comes in like that. So I have no problem taking the time and hearing what's going on with somebody in the moment that it's happening. Of course, that is dependent on if I know this person. Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And if I know them, then I'm going to invest a little more time. And I don't care. Like, obviously, I tell you guys I'm a vibey streamer. That's kind of my thing. But if I need to, like, roll it back a little bit and talk to this person and be there for them, then I would rather lose a little vibe just to do that for a little bit.
Yeah.
And honestly, even if I didn't want to do that, the chat would ask them what's going on before I even had the opportunity to say anything 90% of the time.
And that's a community that you've built. It's a caring one. It's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So I think that's definitely something you got to decide in yourself in how you want to handle that. Yeah. Now, if it's something that is super, super deep and they don't feel comfortable talking about it, I give them an opportunity. What I normally say is, hey, if you want to talk about that here, that's completely fine. I'm here for you. If you'd rather hit me in my DMs, I'll read those. I'll respond as soon as I can. We love you. We're here. And just reassure them. So I'd also like to say, like, I don't want to nitpick what you said a second ago, but you said, like, they're looking for attention or for, like, support, right?
Yeah.
So I don't like the word that they're looking for attention. I think they're looking for someone to show compassion and to support them in their time of need.
Right.
Because wanting attention and that, I think, are kind of different things.
Absolutely.
So I know you didn't mean it.
And again, it's all situational. I'm thinking, like, I play Fortnite, which is more directed at, like, a younger group of people. So when I'm playing Fortnite, sometimes I get, like, that teenage kid in, which they're not supposed to be there because it's an 18 plus stream, but they come in anyways because for whatever reason that rule, like, is a waste of time. I don't even know why I have that because it's ignored so often. But they'll come in and they're just your typical teenager. And again, this is situational. Not everybody's just a typical teenager going through something, but I have one, so I know how they are. I used to be one. So, and they come in and they're like, man, my day sucked, and I don't, I won't put that off immediately. I was like, hey, I'm sorry your day sucked. Something cool that I like to do when somebody just says my day sucks. I'll be like, that sucks, but it's about to get a lot better because you're here hanging out. Welcome in. I try to divert it away from that. But if they're persistent, they want to keep going on it, like, yeah, got grounded or something. That's what I mean by just looking for like again, situational.
Of course,
I've had close community members where there has been times where I'm like, hey, like, because I know they're going through something crazy. I'm like, do you need me in stream? Like, I'll fucking in stream right now, and I'll come talk to you in the Discord.
Serious it
is. Yeah, there's definitely levels.
So
there was this guy, I don't know if you guys remember this. I think it was on Twitch, and it might have been like a year and a half ago. but one of his community members came in, was like talking about a bad experience that they had. I think like one of their
I
relatives
remember
or
what you're
something
talking
had
about. Yep.
passed,
All over
and
Twitter.
he
Yep.
literally stopped and
Yep.
scolded this person for talking about what was going on in their life in
I
his
remember that.
chat.
What he said
this
was
is
wild, and like you said, it was a year
wild.
ago. Yeah, so I can't remember word for
Wild.
word, but from my memory, something like, "How dare you come in with that and ruin the vibe of the street?" Like literally,
much.
yeah. I was just like,
reaming her out.
"What?" Yeah.
And she was answering questions from other community members
Who asked
in
about the
stream
situation?
who asked about what was going on.
Right.
So she wasn't like broadcasting it. It was just answering a question and kind of
Yeah.
like going with it. And this was like a longtime community member and everything. So
Yeah.
just don't be that guy, because that guy
Right.
is a hole.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that was a big deal on Twitter, man. That was a real big deal. And
No,
I remember
was
it.
huge. It was
You know,
huge.
And from, if memory serves correct, again, guys, this is years ago, so nobody come at us if we're quoting or saying anything wrong here. But if memory serves correct, like Saw said, that she was a longtime community member of his, and she even came to his defense on Twitter later. It was like, no, I'd already talked to him about it beforehand. He told me not to bring it into stream, but other community members had known, and like Sauce just mentioned, they had asked her about it. So she ended up, saying something or whatever. So again, still an asshole, whether she defended him or not. And again, there's ways you can do that. Like I just mentioned, where you're like, hey, like that sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. But hey, let's just have a good time. Let's buy. You can definitely still make your message come across that, hey, I don't want to talk about that right now on my stream, without saying those physical words.
Right.
For sure. Yeah, wording and context, especially with streaming, is something you're gonna have to learn anyways. Is people are gonna be able to come in and clip whatever it is you're doing or saying in the moment. Like later, I mean, somebody can come and clip this podcast and be like, "Look, Aztec said people just want attention," and thank you, Sauce, for clearing that up. It's definitely, yeah. I mean, that's just part of the internet, but.
Mm-hmm.
We got the full episode of that guy's stream, and he was definitely being an a-hole. So good callback on that. I did not remember that at all until you said it. So,
and something I always that I normally do too, if somebody pops in the chat that's saying that they're having a rough day, I've got 2 commands that I've got set up. I'm gonna end up making some more. One of them is !hug.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can add a certain user, and I'll be like, everybody in chat, please give this person a hug. They're having a bad day. Show them some love. And then you also got !love, which drops a lot of hearts on the screen and stuff. Just try to brighten their day a little bit. And if it's a situation that's a lot more deep, like Aztec and Sauce both said, Sauce will talk to him directly because he's a vibey dude. He can he's very confident in that he can bring that vibe back. Me personally, I'm more like Aztec, and like if it's a very serious subject, I will ask, do we need to talk about this like outside of stream? Like DM me, feel free. My DMs are always open, and a lot of our community members are the same throughout the 3 of us. So a lot of the same people will be there to help support as well, whenever they're in there,
Yeah, for sure. And that's been one of the coolest things, to call back on the whole Discord question of building the community, is, it was built for, us to care about people and people care about us. But then all of a sudden our people started caring about each other. Right. And then our community started to care about each other. And now we're at a point where, like, I don't even know certain people who to say whose community they belong to anymore. Like, who do you belong to?
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, themselves, they don't belong to any of them. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's how intertwined we are at this point in our careers.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh my God, who do you?
Yeah,
I don't think it's a community
Who
until they
do
start
you
caring about each
love?
other.
There'll be one day some random people just like pop up in the stream, and I'm like, they're just like, hey, we know you. Like it'll say first time chatter,
Yeah.
but they act like they've seen you this whole
Hey,
time.
Lucky.
Right. And it's like, how do they know me? Like they talk like they know me, but it's because they're from Aztec in the stream or Sauce's stream,
I've heard you in the background. I thought you were awesome. Yeah.
Yep.
And that, again,
Always
great
fun.
feelings. So
So I think that it's not even a community until they start talking to each other and caring about each other. Because what's a community?
First, it's like a fan club, right?
Yeah. A community is a group of people that care about each other and are working towards a common goal. Like they talk about it takes a whole village to raise a child. So it's the same concept. You're not a community until you start caring about each other and you start trying to build something together.
Yeah, one of the greatest feelings I have personally is when I have community members that tell me, you know how many Discords I've been in before I came to yours, and I felt like this is a home versus follow for follow, or tab me up or you're getting kicked out of here. Or I've been in a Discord that I left that I remember the owner typing in and giving people roles based on activity level, and then giving roles based on how much they've seen them in their stream. And then, which in this part I wasn't so against, because we talked about how we get annoyed with people coming in thinking this is just a post my link and you're going to come check me out. But that said person running that said Discord would only allow like the top tier supporters of theirs to post their link, which I thought that was kind of like, oh, I get that. Like, you're not going to sell promo in here if you ain't a part of this. But I wouldn't call that a community. That felt very toxic, and I left because I was just like, I feel like I'm putting to work here. Like, I feel like I have to, which is probably how my mods feel, but I feel like I'm put to work here. Like, I have to do this and this to get this level and get this kind of a, no, like that. There's definitely a lot of bad servers out there, and you guys are going to learn this, going through your careers and stuff like that. So, just make sure you're able to figure those out quick, because I have members that give me horror stories all day on places they used to be, things that they've seen and heard, and being in creeps Discords where they're asking girls for certain things. It's just there's a lot of bad out there, just like the rest of the world. But there are good ones out there, so don't give up on Discord if you are in that situation or finding a lot of those situations. Eventually you'll find a home, like, the sauce bottle, you'll find your home one day.
Become a little sauce drop.
Sauce drops.
Be one of the many sauce drops inside the bottle.
Yeah. How many drops it takes like to fill the bottle?
They're like a one big old gamely,
Oh, a gamely. Oh. Wonder whose community we're talking about now.
Or you could be a template. Oh wait, sorry, Temple fam, my bad.
Templates are the super OGs, okay?
Super OGs.
Nobody comes in a template anymore. Only a few of you remember. Some think they remember just because they were told. But yeah, so like anything else, you have to find your people. But I think it is super great when they come in and they're like, man, it's such a relief to be here, because I don't know about, I do know about you guys, but I don't know about you guys listening in on the podcast. Is if you're anything like me, you probably at times feel like, am I doing right? Am I making it? Am I headed in the right direction? And I'll tell you, nothing that these two say to me can fix me as quick as a random Discord member coming to me and saying, I love this place, it's home. Nothing can make me feel better than somebody that doesn't know what I'm going through. Somebody that doesn't know me personally comes in and just says, I love this place, you're doing great. That means a lot more to me. No offense to you boys, but it's just insane. So
see how it is. Put all these hours in, and then you just throw it away.
All the mornings we stay up, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning.
3 or 4 o'clock.
First off, you ain't never catch me in no morning, because it ain't morning until I done been asleep, son.
That's right. It's still nighttime until the sun is up, and then it's still nighttime until I wake up.
Also, talking about all this, you end up kind of surrounding yourself with all these new people and everything. You also kind of have to be careful in a sense, because there are a lot of people out there who want to see you do better, but there's also people who want to try to just come in and take what you have, in a sense.
Oh, caveman style. Nice.
Right.
Mine, give.
So like, let's say somebody gifts you, just a crazy amount of subs. Let's say 20, 25 subs out of nowhere. And all of a sudden you got this other person that's like talking to them constantly, adding them in chats. They're all of a sudden, because
Right.
maybe they stream and maybe they're trying to be all goody goody with them because they want them to go into their stream and probably do the same thing. You know, it's there's people out there who you kind of have to look out for.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting that, but there's a correct way and a wrong way to do it, in my opinion.
I think experience will also help you learn who those people are. And unfortunately, sometimes it takes you actually getting stabbed in the back by the wrong person to grow up and be able to read those situations. But just because somebody does that in your chat doesn't necessarily mean that's what they're doing. But again, this takes time, effort, and understanding of how to read that. Because when somebody comes in and does anything for me, my mods immediately are thankful to that person, or adding that person, saying you're a legend. When they do a crazy amount, my mods are immediately like, so and so for VIP. I'm like, yeah, you're right. So yeah, I'm reading it, but for sure something to be aware of.
Yeah. I'm not saying everybody that does it is, out to, try to steal your viewers or whatever, but like you said, just learning how to, what's the word I'm looking for? How to
weed out.
So I think there's a certain amount of risk in general whenever you're getting to know other streamers. As Aztecan brought it up before, every streamer is technically your competition on the platform, right? 100%. I don't like to think of them as competition necessarily. Lucky, I'm sure, doesn't think of them as competition either. He thinks of them as his best friends
Big dog.
normally, which is fine. But you have to have in your mind that people are people and people be peopling.
People be peopling.
People be peopling. So that being said, what I mean by that is some people are really good at hiding who they are and their true intentions, and they can buddy up to you in order to benefit themselves more than actually be your friend. So it's hard sometimes to figure out who's being genuine and who's not being genuine.
Yeah.
So it does take a minute, and you're going to probably get burned a couple times. It's gonna happen.
Stove hot.
I'm sorry to say, stove hot. You're gonna touch the hot stove every once in a while.
Yeah.
And it's a skill you'll kind of learn. You'll kind of get a little jaded every once in a while as it goes, but that's part of it. I think one of the things I admire most about Lucky is that he does view everybody as his best friend, and
you sweet fool.
He doesn't see them as necessarily a danger. Whereas I'll talk to people and I'll get to know them. I have to really trust somebody before I will bring them into anything or tell them about what's going on, because I've been burned in the past by certain people who shall remain nameless.
Who messed with my saucy?
I mean, it's happened, right?
Put them up.
I mean, I've had people literally like buddy up to me and then message my mods behind my back and try to get them to go mod for them instead of me, and try to talk crap about me before. So I didn't see that coming.
What do you mean? I'm sorry. I guess I'm getting lost here. Lucky distracted me probably. What do you mean? Because like we share mods. So what do you mean by that?
So sharing a mod is different than someone literally talking trash about you to the mod and saying, hey, you should really just leave this guy's community and go ahead and join mine.
Okay. So like leave you for them. Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, because I back in the day, I definitely reached out to like Anu and Wonder Mama and was like, hey, I see that you mod for these guys. I think you're great. Would you mind? Like, I'm understanding the difference right now.
Other people, like, my mods are not exclusive to me. That is fine. Like I said, I don't believe that your viewers, your mods, anything are something that you have any authority over. So they do their own thing. But
they're not paid people, so they do what they want.
They're not paid employees. I don't have the money to do that. But I literally had messages from one of my moderators telling me what was going on. So it was a pretty crazy situation. That being said, I had no clue that it was happening. I wouldn't have known that by talking to the guy or lady. We'll see. Uh, so I think you're going to have to risk it sometimes
For the biscuit?
Oh,
for the biscuit.
Hell yeah.
So
Yeah, I
it
mean,
does come with some risk.
I think I've been lucky enough to not experience it. Can I say I haven't? It hasn't happened? No, because I've probably been kept in the dark if it has. But I don't think I've experienced that in that manner. You know, people coming in and joining and only posting their link. To me, if you only post your link, it seems that way. But then again, with experience comes you understand that they're invested in themselves and they're posting their link for their own growth and not necessarily trying to steal your people. But I think it's funny that you guys brought this up because that is literally a reason I have been kind of leaving like what I would consider bigger streamers Discords that I've joined in the past, or even people that I haven't had the ability to kind of hit it off with, you know, because not everybody's for everybody, right?
Mhm.
So because I don't use their Discord at all because I'm so afraid of them thinking that and trying to view me as a shark or something because I mean, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I'm pretty vibey, you know, I get along with a lot of people, you know, so I don't want to go show my personality in their stream and then people just happen to come check me out. And then there's this whole online bickering between me and that person of, oh, you came in and stole my people because like we just mentioned, you don't own anybody, you know, but I know there's people like that out there. So I get so scared to go, like literally inside of our 3 Discords are really the only ones I've been in I don't know how long. You know, I just did a collab with Colony. Again, shout out to Colony. Absolutely loved it. Had a great time. You know, and I was active in his Discord, you know, the week I think before and then after that, like it just felt I didn't want him to feel like I was in there trying to do that, you know. We had a great time and we vibed. And honestly, it's somebody that I look forward to working with in the future. But it's just like I'm so worried about that because we're all experienced and he has got as much experience as we do, you know. So it's just like I hate that, you know, and I feel like that kind of holds me back at this point now to continue to grow. So
I think you gotta like just kind of let go sometimes. And
Let
people
it
don't know
go.
your intention until you show them what your intention is, right?
Yeah.
So if you go in there and you start networking and talking, that's fine. Like that's one thing. Like I have no problem with any streamer coming into my chat and I'll
Right.
usually ask them about their stream or I will have them post their link in my Discord, yada yada yada. I don't care. Like at the end of the day, if someone wants to go watch your stream because you're a better streamer or they vibe with you better, cool, whatever. There's more people out there that can watch my stream if they enjoy it.
Yeah.
Because you
Oh,
don't, like we talked about, you don't own a streamer. No one owes you anything.
Mm-hmm.
So the people that are in your community that are invested in you, that is a gift that you are given every single day that you're able to get on stream
Right.
and stream.
Oh yeah. I mean,
So
the most valuable thing anybody is their
Time.
time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what people are giving you.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and that's something that you can never get back.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think I mentioned it in a previous episode where like I won't even post my link again, which is to what I just explained. I won't post my link in anybody but mine and y'all's Discord because I don't want them to think that that's what I'm there for. You know? So at the end of it, like you said, maybe I just need to let go because I think it is kind of holding me back at this point because now it seems like I've almost halted my networking. Now my networking comes from people who join me, which means they're trying to network with me and I'm just networking back with. So now instead
Right.
of trying to go and network, because I'm so afraid that people think, you know, oh, damn shark, you know, I don't even like sharks, but off
can we
topic,
talk
sorry.
about
Sharks?
networking just
Oh.
a second?
Okay, yeah. I thought you were talking
Um,
about sharks.
So I think it's super important to know who you should network with as well if you're trying to grow your community, your stream.
What do you mean
So-
by that?
Well, obviously you want to network with people that play the same similar type of genre as you and everything like that, because that's the type of people that would make sense.
False.
but
First time on network with Zaza, I played Phasmophobia, and I did not like it.
that's
A
fine.
lot of people loved it though.
I love
By the way,
Zaza.
dude.
Zaza also plays shooters.
He's amazing. Shout out to you.
Zaza's a great guy. But you also knew Zaza from a different way. So you already knew him through Lucky.
No, not that first Phasmophobia thing. I seen
Lucky,
him.
You didn't know him first?
Lucky knew him first. I
I
seen
knew him
him in
first.
Lucky Chat one time because I was coming into Lucky Chat and I said, "Hey, good night, I'm out of here." And I remember seeing that name, and then like a week later, Lucky was like, "Hey, been talking to this guy, like this guy, love his vibe. I think you guys would get along. Come play Phas with us." So I literally did not know him at
Well,
all.
Lucky did it. Got it.
Yeah, he's my
Yeah,
date
I
setter
set it
upper.
up.
Gotcha. So Lucky networked for you. 10-4.
Yeah.
All right. So what I mean-
I put the brain together and did the things because
You did it. I'm proud.
Zaza's cool. I think him and Aztec gonna get along good. And
Match made in heaven.
has never played a lot of horror games, but I know he's a big chicken like I am.
All right. So he used me
There's
for
a lot to be
content.
had
Okay.
here.
Okay.
That's
I hear-
exactly what happened. Yes.
I hear you.
So what I mean by networking correctly, I mean you want to, of course, find somebody that plays a similar game as you or something you might be venturing into, maybe. But that's the type of communities you kind of want to go into and then get to know people. But like size-wise, for growth and best practices, you don't want to necessarily go with someone that's a lot smaller than you. Like if they're just starting off streaming and you've been streaming for a while and you have a decent sized community, you want to reach out to people that are either your size or a little bit bigger whenever you're starting to network versus people that are the exact same size or smaller. Now,
Why?
does that mean you can't reach out to those people? No. Well,
Okay.
it's
I just
one
I
reason that
I
would say.
feel
Mhm.
douchey to ask people to join my Discord. Like on stream, I'll do it. You know, but hey, if you guys want to be part of community, blah 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 blah, come join the Discord, right? But like when I know another streamer is equal or bigger size to me, I feel so douchey to ask them, hey, come
Cool.
join my
Don't
Discord.
ask them to join your Discord. Join theirs.
But I don't want to no more.
Well, then don't grow. I don't care. It's up to you.
But I don't want to.
We're back to the conversation. That's a you problem there. So fix your own issue. So if you don't want to ask them, if you don't want to join their Discord, then you're not going to do it. So
Right.
I can't help you with that. That's your own thing that you're going to figure out. As for why I say you should do this with somebody that's your size or bigger, it's because those are the people that you're trying to learn from. You're trying to learn from partner streamers. You're trying to learn what they're doing, the little things that's making them interesting to their community. Now, you're not going there to steal their people. You're going there to learn from them and to start collabing with them and doing all that type of stuff. And be upfront whenever you join in their community. Like, be active in their chat for a little while, and then maybe send them a message when they're not streaming. Do not ask in their chat.
Right.
Like, hey, we
DM.
should collab sometime. Huh? And they're like, yeah, random user that I've never talked to. We should definitely do that. You don't want to do that. So definitely DM and be respectful. If they say no, they say no. Most people are open to collabing with new people because everyone wants to grow. Even a partner streamer wants to grow.
Yeah.
And as we've said before, there's not much different between an affiliate and a partner, except they have a couple more people that watch them.
Right.
So whenever you're first starting off, collabing with people that are your same size, you can still reach out to those bigger people. That's fine. Now, are they going to necessarily look at your content and say yes as much? Maybe not. But there's always that chance as well. Like I've seen people that have a very, very small following that have been collabing with some of these bigger streamers and growing exponentially because of it. So take what I say with a grain of salt, of course, because I'm
You know what's
a weirdo.
crazy is what part of the collab? Sorry, I'm stumbling over here because I'm trying to figure out how to put words together here. What part of the collab is the purpose of growing? So is it just for like exposure, or like what is it? Because I've seen somebody our size, and I only know this because Twitch tracker exists. I've seen somebody our size collab with a very big YouTuber, and then I still haven't seen much difference or success in that person's content or stream. So would that collab have been a flop? I don't think it was. I thought it was great. So I don't. So what are
I think
you
it depends on the
looking to gain?
metrics that you're putting on it. So if you want a certain thing out of it, you have to be upfront with yourself. Like, what do I want to gain from this?
Right.
Do I want to gain a friend that I can make content with that I enjoy? Then making fun content with that person, that's a win.
Okay.
If it's I want to become famous because I just collabed with Ninja on Fortnite and then no one popped in, then that's probably a fail for you, right? Even though it could have been a great stream or it could have been a great time. But if you were wanting a different result and it didn't happen, then you're probably considering that a fail.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it's all your idea on what is pass or fail for that.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah. I mean, and I think as more experience, like something you do before you collab with somebody is I definitely love to have a conversation with them beforehand. You know, like I bring people on every so often for, you know, special things that I do. You know, before we sit down and do it, you know, I ask them, like, hey, do you have any questions? Do you have any concerns, any worries? You know, do you want to, like, you know, what to expect, what to know? You know, and a lot of times they're like, I think they're intimidated or they're just like shy or something. And they're just like, no, you know, so I've learning, again, experience, you know, make sure now I'm like, hey, like if you need to go to the restroom at any time or anything, like just speak up and let me know. If you're embarrassed to say it on stream, send me a message. I'll have our messages open for that purpose. Like you start to learn how to work with other people because I think, like for me personally, like let's say I was gonna get to do be a guest with a bigger streamer, right? I would, part of me, and I already know, no matter what I say right here on the podcast, to be truthful, I would probably be super nervous. Kind of like my callback to when I first played with Lucky. I would almost be scared to speak and overshine those people. And I think that's where some people miss out on their collabs. You know, because if they think I'm streaming with somebody that's way bigger than me, instead of like showing their own personality as them being afraid to, you know, overstep or overtalk. Because I mean, a lot of times you can't overstep a streamer, and then, you know, now you got random beef or something because you decided to, you know, be yourself. It's not always the case, but it can be. I think that's where a lot of them miss out their opportunity, you know, because they're, you know, you're playing with a ninja and, you know, he's over here doing his being funny or whatever, and you're scared to do your thing because you don't want to outshine the bigger streamer, which I think, fuck it, I think you should, like, just be yourself. Like, don't do something out of your norm to kind of one up them. That's untasteful. But just to be yourself, like, if it happens, it happens, you know.
I think a good rule of thumb would be to maybe get in a Discord call, play some games offline with said person that you want to collab with, make sure the vibes are good, talk about how you guys want to do this, say, hey, I'm going to be myself whenever we're doing this together. I'm not going to pull any punches. I'd like to be able to bounce back and forth with banter. I want to, you know, play off of each other. And just being completely open and honest with what you guys are both wanting out of it. Because you got to remember, when you're collabing, they are also getting something out of this as well.
Right.
It's not just you getting something out of this. Even if it's a bigger streamer than you that you're collabing with, they're still getting something out of it. They're getting exposure to a whole new group of people they've never seen before as well. And they're also having a chance to play with you, and you're probably fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind, you know?
Yeah, and I think that's a great thing as like a pro tip. I'm not a pro, but a pro tip would be like you just said, play them beforehand, but do that before you guys announce it, you know? Because like what if you announce it to like your Discord or whatever, or in your stream, and then you guys do that and the vibes aren't right, you know, and then now it's canceled. So now you gotta sit there and like explain like the vibes weren't right, so we're not doing it.
I definitely think all of it should be taken care of well before it's announced.
Right.
So if you are planning something, you have to be able to keep a secret for a little while from your community. And I know that's tough. It's not easy to keep a lid on things.
Yeah.
And I know people like to tease things every once in a while, and that's okay. But you don't want to start teasing things until everything's set in stone. You can make sure your vibes match. You can make sure things are going to work out, because again, people be peopling. Sometimes the vibes don't match. And that's okay if vibes don't match. That doesn't mean they're a bad person. It just means they ain't your people. It wasn't going to be a good collab. So
I hope somebody
Yeah.
comments on whatever platform they want on this podcast, on this episode, and say "people be people." In I'm gonna pick a random person. I'm gonna give a shout out next episode. I just want to see it, not from one of us. I want to see a random person that watched this. Just people be people in the comments. I'm gonna give them a big old shout out next episode. So I love that. I
Also
love
wanna
it
say,
when you
since-
say it.
Since we're talking about collabing and stuff, I also would recommend using push to talk.
oh yes.
Yeah,
Please use it. I mean, there's plenty of ways you can do it. Me personally, I went on Amazon and bought like a $15 foot pedal.
Easiest
and
way
you
to do
can-
it.
You
Yeah.
can key bind it to whatever button you want, and just make that your push to talk button with your foot. Mainly because I play with controller on most things, but this way, you can talk to your chat without having to be all up in their stream, because
Yeah.
if you're not on push to talk, everything you're saying is going over to their stream as well. And you don't want to sit there and have like this, like, I got to talk louder because they're talking constantly, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
but I think that's something that you should talk about beforehand. Like my last several
Oh, yeah.
collabs, we definitely talked about that. Where like even if we're in the middle of our banter, I always tell them like, if you get a raid, F me, dude, or
Yeah.
girl, whatever.
Yeah.
I call
Take care of
everybody
your
dude.
stuff.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, mute me. I'll figure it out pretty quick when you're not responding, and I'll just move on. And
Right.
the awesome part is like if you're smart like we are and use Discord, it shows you when they're muted or deafened.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely. And if you guys are trying to call me out on that one, I'm gonna defend myself very quickly on this podcast. My intention with my last collab was that I was gonna give that person attention, and I wanted to make it almost about them more than myself. And I'll tell you what, I definitely see the repercussion of my choice in doing that and not really being open with my community about how I was going to do it. Mostly because it's something that we had, the way we did it last time wasn't something that we had done before. They're used to me having people that are very close to me. Lucky, Sauce. They're used to me. I don't even think we collab anymore. I just don't feel like we're doing a collab when we collab. It just doesn't feel like that's what we're doing.
We
It technically is, right? But they're so used to that and they're used to all this, and I definitely saw like the negatives of how I did it. But I think if I was to go back and do it, I think I'd almost do it the same way, but I would announce why and how to my community for sure. Because they did get frustrated. The comments were made, why are you not using push to talk? Well, I have a foot pedal. I have push to talk enabled. I didn't want to. Like it wasn't that I didn't want to chat with my community. It was that I was giving this person attention. And like you said, Sauce, people should learn how to read the room and figure out what's going on. So when I got backlash of, oh, you don't care about us today. What? I set this up for you guys, so it was interesting to see that. But again, growing pains, right? We're going to learn. And again, I think I'd still do it the exact same way. I would just explain beforehand in my Discord, hey, I'm going to give this person a lot more attention. So I don't regret how I did it. I loved it. I had a great time. So
I definitely think that push to talk's definitely a serious thing that you need to be using anyway. Even if you're not collabing, push to talk's a great thing to have for in-game reasons whenever you are playing with people in a FPS or a competitive game. Because whenever someone's saying he's one shot and you're over here saying, oh, dude, your favorite color is purple? That's freaking dope, man.
yeah, for sure.
That's not, they don't need to hear that right now.
Yeah. Which is funny. I mean, I have video evidence. Go back to any Friday where it's me and Lucky. Do we cross over each other a lot? Sure, but that's part of our charm. But when he gets a raid or I get a raid or I know I'm doing something exclusive to, my stream, we mute each other. We have evidence of that. If you go back to that collab that I'm talking about, there are times where I muted it because I got whatever and I wasn't trying to put that on that person's stream. So it wasn't a lack of knowledge or a lack of didn't think about it. It was a lack of like, I did it the way I wanted it, So I think that's just also something important. So like we've told other streamers or in, past things that we've said in episodes is like, do you, be what you want to be, put the content out that you want to, and just run it your way. This is your show. This is your stream, and just do it. I I didn't lose a single person for it. I definitely had to explain myself afterwards. And I definitely had a couple of people that maybe they're still mad at me about it. I don't know, but it is what it is. So, but yes, I hate to bring it up because you guys know how I feel about mentioning Call of Duty a lot. But I think COD streamers are like the worst for the reason that you just mentioned. Somebody's screaming at you because it's a team-based game and you're like, go get that person to the left. And they're over there like, oh, dude, like exactly what you said, and that is the worst. So push to talk is a great asset for those guys for sure.
Oh,
yep. It's definitely a skill too to learn how to use
skill
push
issue
to talk correctly. So if you are just starting and you start messing up on your push to talk, it's okay. We all have done it. We all forget that we're muted.
I was muted the whole time, bro.
It happens. It happens. So
still happens.
I've been talking to y'all for 10 minutes now and nobody was responding to me. So I thought y'all were just ignoring me this whole time.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many times that's happened to me?
Yeah. So I'd recommend honestly just having push to talk on all the time. Because it's something that's going to be ingrained. Like anytime you want to say something in the Discord, you are pressing your button, pushing your foot pedal, whatever you're doing.
Which, like anything else we've told, the listeners is there's a way to practice that, right? We've given you guys keys in past episodes when we talk about subjects like this, what we do to learn how to correct that. So if you're just sitting here offline playing whatever game it is that you play, you're just sitting here playing that, exercise it. Anytime you go to speak or say something, force your hand or your foot, whatever it is that you're using, or if you're a mouse and key player, it's a keybind on your keyboard or whatever. Just get in the habit of doing it.
I know my mouse.
Yeah, fancy. So like any time that you go to speak or if say something, you should just get in the habit of doing it and undoing it, doing it and undoing it. Maybe get one of your friends in there that you're playing with offline and work it out with and let them know, hey, I want to practice getting better at this. If they make fun of you, oh well, who cares? You're trying to grow yourself as a streamer, and practice it then. That way, as many times as like, bro, you're muted, hello, that'll help you learn. So definitely. Well, again, a big thank you to all you guys for hanging out with us, listen to us mumble and go on and on about all these little tips. So quick recap here. Discord is for strengthening your community, not growing your stream. It might do that, but it's not. You want to prioritize your chat. Okay, I know what we said earlier, but chat's better. Okay, content's cool, chat's better. And then also keep your eye open. Always look in high grass because you never know when a snake is lurking. This has been episode 8. We are the Stream PC. Much love and thank you for listening.